Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. Let's get to the news. In the corridors of Ibrox, whispers are travelling faster than the winter wind off the Clyde, and at the centre of it all stands Jack Butland, a goalkeeper who is meant to bring calm, authority, and reassurance, but who now, according to dressing room murmurs, has become the loudest voice in a room full of tension. The story doing the rounds among players, staff, and those who always seem to know too much is that something snapped behind closed doors. This was not a polite disagreement or a quiet word exchanged over tactics. This was raw frustration spilling out, with Butland allegedly slamming his gloves down and making it clear that certain standards were no longer being met. The phrase, "I do not accept this," is said to have echoed around the room, not as a soundbite for cameras, but as a line drawn in the sand. In a club like Rangers, where history weighs heavy and expectation never sleeps, such an outburst carries weight. Some say it was about organisation at the back, others hint at effort levels, while a few suggest it was deeper, about mentality and leadership. What makes this rumour so powerful is not just the anger itself, but the timing. Rangers are supposed to be united, relentless, unbreakable. Instead, this tale paints a picture of cracks appearing beneath the surface, with a goalkeeper, traditionally a loner, stepping into a role that challenges established hierarchies. Those close to the dressing room atmosphere insist this was not a spontaneous eruption, but the result of weeks of simmering frustration. Butland, known for his professionalism and intense preparation, is said to have felt that messages were not getting through. Training, ground standards, concentration during key moments, and accountability when things go wrong are all alleged to be part of the unspoken list. When a goalkeeper speaks, especially one who sees the entire pitch unfold in front of him, it can feel like a mirror being held up to uncomfortable truths. Some players reportedly bristled at the tone, interpreting it as overstepping boundaries, while others quietly nodded along, recognizing sentiments they themselves were afraid to voice. This is where rumors become dangerous because perception matters as much as reality. A raised voice can be seen as leadership or as arrogance, depending on who is listening. In the Rangers dressing room, filled with strong personalities and different backgrounds, that line is razor thin. What is clear, at least in the whispered version of events, is that this was not about one mistake or one moment. It was about identity, about what it means to pull on that shirt and whether everyone inside the room truly feels the weight of it the same way. Adding fuel to the fire is the suggestion that this confrontation did not end neatly. Instead of immediate resolution, the room reportedly fell into an uneasy silence, the kind that lingers long after words have stopped flying. Players left the area with thoughts racing, some replaying the exchange in their heads, others questioning their own roles within the squad. Staff members caught in the middle were left to manage not just tactics and recovery, but egos and emotions. In a club where legends are made and broken quickly, such moments can define seasons. Rumor has it that Butland's words were not aimed at one individual, but at a collective mindset he felt was slipping. That makes it harder to digest because no one can easily deflect blame. Everyone feels a little targeted, a little exposed. For supporters who live and breathe every rumor, this kind of story is both terrifying and intoxicating. It suggests passion and standards, but also instability. The fear is that what starts as honest frustration could spiral into division if not handled carefully. Some voices around the club are already framing Butland's alleged outburst as a sign of leadership emerging in unlikely form. Goalkeepers, after all, see things others do not and are often the last line of defense when structure collapses. In this version of the story, Butland is the one brave enough to say what others whisper, unwilling to accept mediocrity or complacency. He is painted as a guardian of standards, someone who understands that at Rangers, second best is never enough. Yet there is another version circulating, darker and more cynical, suggesting that tensions have been building between certain groups of players, with cliques forming and communication breaking down. In that context, Butland's explosion becomes less heroic and more symptomatic, a sign that harmony is already fractured. The truth, as always, probably sits somewhere in between, but rumors thrive in the absence of clarity, and right now, clarity feels scarce. What makes this situation even more intriguing is how quickly stories like this take on a life of their own in Glasgow. A raised voice becomes a full-blown row. A demand for standards becomes a personal attack. In pubs, online forums, and private chats, names are being thrown around, alliances imagined, futures questioned. Supporters wonder who sided with Butland, who pushed back, and who stayed silent. Silence in football dressing rooms is often interpreted as agreement or guilt, depending on perspective. The idea that a goalkeeper could be at the heart of a dressing room crisis feels dramatic, but Rangers are no strangers to drama. The club's history is littered with moments where internal conflict either forged stronger bonds or led to spectacular collapse. This rumor taps directly into that collective memory, stirring emotions far beyond the training ground. As the dust supposedly settles, one thing is certain in the rumor mill: this is not over. Conversations are said to be continuing behind the scenes, with management trying to channel the intensity into something constructive. Whether Butland's words will be remembered as a turning point or as the spark that lit a bigger fire remains to be seen. In a club where every gesture is scrutinized, every tone analyzed, and every whisper amplified, this story refuses to fade quietly. It hangs in the air, heavy and unresolved, a reminder that football is not just about what happens on the pitch, but about personalities, pride, and the fragile balance that holds a squad together. The speculation deepens when attention turns to how this alleged confrontation might ripple through the Rangers hierarchy, because moments like these rarely exist in isolation. When a senior player, especially one trusted with such responsibility, speaks out so forcefully, it forces questions about leadership structures. Who truly leads this group when pressure mounts? Is leadership shared, or has it become fragmented? Rumor suggests that some senior figures were caught off guard by Butland's tone, not necessarily by the message itself, but by the way it was delivered. In dressing rooms, delivery matters. A message wrapped in respect can inspire, while the same words, sharpened by frustration, can wound. Those said to be close to the situation whisper that management now faces a delicate balancing act, backing standards without alienating personalities. At Rangers, authority must feel earned, not imposed, and when that line blurs, tension follows. This is where a simple outburst becomes a symbol, a flashpoint that exposes underlying dynamics long hidden beneath routine and results. There's also talk that this incident has forced certain players to look inward, questioning their own commitment and focus. Footballers, despite the bravado, are acutely aware of perception, knowing that a teammate sees shortcomings and is willing to voice them publicly within the group can be unsettling. Some may respond with renewed determination, eager to prove themselves. Others might retreat, feeling singled out even if no names were mentioned. The rumor mill thrives on these imagined reactions, building narratives of division or redemption. In Glasgow, imagination often fills the gaps left by silence. Supporters project their hopes and fears onto these stories, seeing either the birth of a more ruthless Rangers or the early signs of dressing room decay. The truth may be far more mundane, but that rarely stops speculation from running wild. Adding another layer is the idea that Butland himself now stands under a harsher spotlight. Speaking up changes how teammates view you. Every save, every command, every mistake is reinterpreted through the lens of that moment. If he performs well, the story becomes one of justified leadership. If he falters, critics will be quick to question whether he should have focused inward rather than outward. Rumors suggest he is fully aware of this, embracing the pressure rather than shrinking from it. In Scottish football culture, that kind of attitude can earn respect or provoke resentment, sometimes both at once. The dressing room, according to whispers, feels different now, charged with unspoken tension, but also with a sense that something has shifted. Change, even uncomfortable change, has a way of clarifying priorities. Some insiders hint that this episode has reignited old debates about identity at Rangers. What does it truly mean to fight for the badge? Is it about shouting and confrontation, or about consistency and professionalism? Butland's alleged words have reopened these questions, forcing players and staff alike to confront their own definitions. In a club built on narratives of defiance and resilience, confrontation is almost expected, yet modern squads are more complex, more sensitive to tone and trust. The rumor that this clash happened at all suggests that those worlds may be colliding. Traditional expectations meeting contemporary realities with personalities caught in between. As days pass, the absence of official comment only feeds the fire. Silence is interpreted as confirmation, denial as damage control. Every training session becomes a stage for imagined subplots. Who speaks to whom, who laughs, who keeps their distance. Observers read meaning into body language, into fleeting glances, into routine interactions. This is the dangerous beauty of football gossip. It transforms ordinary moments into evidence, weaving stories that feel real enough to shape opinion. For Rangers, a club accustomed to living under a microscope, managing this narrative becomes almost as important as managing performances. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In the end, whether Jack Butland truly exploded in the dressing room or whether the story has grown in the telling, the impact is undeniable. Rumors like this reflect deeper anxieties about ambition, cohesion, and expectation. They reveal how quickly confidence can be questioned and how desperately supporters crave signs of passion and accountability. This tale, half whispered and half shouted, sits perfectly in that space. It speaks of frustration, pride, and the relentless demand to be better. And until clarity arrives, if it ever does, this story will continue to echo around Ibrox, shaping conversations and stirring emotions. A reminder that at Rangers, nothing is ever just a rumor. Adding to the intrigue, Insiders suggest that the media's focus on Butland's declaration has created a self-reinforcing cycle where speculation fuels coverage, which in turn fuels more speculation. Rumors hint that the player in question may have been aware of internal dissatisfaction, potentially contributing to friction by resisting guidance or underperforming at critical moments, though nothing has been officially confirmed. Analysts argue that this situation highlights the delicate balance between individual talent and collective discipline, with Rangers potentially serving as a case study in how internal dynamics can affect a club's public image, performance, and morale. Social media platforms have become forums for theory, debate, and conjecture, amplifying minor details into major talking points and creating a narrative that is equal parts intrigue, drama, and uncertainty. The saga has also sparked discussions about leadership styles, accountability, and how veteran players like Butland can influence team culture, with pundits weighing the potential benefits and drawbacks of such a direct and public intervention. With no clear resolution in sight, the story continues to evolve, capturing the attention of fans, journalists, and analysts alike, and ensuring that Rangers' internal crisis remains one of the most compelling storylines in contemporary football, with twists, tension, and speculation dominating conversations far beyond the football pitch. Finally, the Rangers saga has become a focal point for broader discussions about professionalism, discipline, and authority in football, highlighting how individual actions can reverberate across an entire club. Rumors persist regarding the potential outcomes, including disciplinary measures, changes in squad hierarchy, or even strategic transfers, though the uncertainty only fuels further debate. Butland's bold statement has cemented itself as a defining moment, a symbol of frustration, leadership, and uncompromising standards that has captivated fans and pundits alike. Analysts speculate that the resolution of this episode could set precedents for how Rangers and potentially other clubs handle conflicts, tensions, and the complex interplay between individual personalities and collective ambition. Supporters continue to interpret every detail, tweet, and media report, turning speculation into a continuous narrative that feels both immediate and far-reaching. The story, rife with uncertainty and tension, remains unresolved, with each development adding new layers to the mystery and continuing to dominate conversation across the footballing world. Rangers' dressing room, already a stage for intense scrutiny, has now become a theater of speculation, intrigue, and anticipation, ensuring that the saga will be remembered not only for its drama, but also for the enduring questions it raises about loyalty, discipline, and leadership in football at the highest level. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned